It's looking great.
She's rocking it.
No, I'm loving this because I'm learning right now so much. So I'm doing this video right now, which is just sharing our weird manifestation rituals.
Yes.
Is there any weird thing that you do to manifest right now? Aaron, Michael, Doughty. Aaron, Michael, Doughty. Aaron, Michael, Doughty. Hello, my loves, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new, I'm Leeor Alexandra. Welcome to the Baby Elephant community. On this channel, we talk about the law of attraction, spirituality, self-development, and so much more. And today, I wanted to share with you the weird manifestation rituals that work for some of my good friends who are the best manifestors I know. I'm going to start with my own manifestation ritual, and then I'm going to take you through this house where we're all staying together, and we're going to talk a little bit about our law of attraction tricks and tips and what we use. And these are going to be more on the esoteric side. So let's start with mine. Okay, so we'll start with my current esoteric manifestation rituals, and then we're gonna go find my friends and see what they have to offer to us, because they are some of the best manifestors that I know. Where I am right now, you guys already know I have so many different methods of manifesting and of eliciting the immaterial into the material. I have like 200 videos with different methods right here on the channel. I'm out of breath because I just did a random dance party upstairs. But if you wanted to see any of those tools, you would just go look at my YouTube channel. I'll link it down below. We have the Law of Attraction manifesting toolkit with all these different cool methods. But what methods am I using these days? Well, the way that my manifesting has changed is that basically it's more free. It's more about allowing. It's more about letting the cosmic dance of the universe take me where it wants to take me, and trusting, surrendering and trusting that it's going to be exactly where I'm meant to go. I find that when I trust without fear, that's when I become a magnet to all good things. So what I do is they're having a little too much fun. Let me close the door. So for me, the most important thing to do is to just be aware of your vibration, right? Your frequency. And I talk about that all the time on this channel, because when our frequency is high, we can trust that everything that comes into it is coming into it for our well-being. So whatever people come into my life, I could be a little bit distrusting of them and be like, well, what's their intention with me? Or I could know that I'm at such a high vibration that I take really good care of my frequency, that I can only manifest to me good things. And sometimes things might not seem so good, right? There might be challenges. Life is full of polarity. That's why we came to this physical world. And just having that trusting and that knowing that even when the challenge comes up, it's coming to prepare you for exactly the level and the frequency and the vibration and the place that you want to be in. Now, if I have something physical or very concrete or specific that I want to manifest, what I do is I create a little ritual for myself. So I will sit at my altar, I'll light a candle, I'll light some incense, I'll invoke my angels from heaven, my spirit guides, my power animals, and I'll talk to them, I'll communicate with them, and I will say, there's something that I want in my life right now. I'd be super grateful if I were able to manifest it from the immaterial, from the invisible realms into the physical realms. Now, ways that I like to do this during my ceremonies are through writing it down, because I think that the subconscious mind and also the superconscious mind, aka our higher self, pays a lot more attention to things when we are in prayer over them and when we write them down, because we are infusing them with more intention. So I write things down, and the way that I ask for things is through giving gratitude for their existence. So let's say I was manifesting a house, or I was manifesting a dog, or I was manifesting a relationship. I would say, I am so grateful for this beautiful dog. I'm so grateful for this incredible home, and this is what it has. I'm so grateful that it's in this location. I am so grateful for this incredible relationship that I've manifested with my soulmate. I would give gratitude for the things that I want. So you are phrasing it as if you already have it. You are being as if. So that's super important. The other thing is about how I manifest these days is I just am very aware of what comes out of my mouth and the thoughts that I'm thinking. Now, this isn't something new. This is also something that we talk about often on this channel. It's abracadabra. With my words, I create. So what are the stories you're telling other people? Imagine that your mouth is this magic wand, and everything, every word, every sentence you say with it is a spell. What spells are you casting? So I'm casting spells all day long. I'm talking really nicely about myself. I'm talking nicely about other people. I'm complimenting everybody. I'm speaking beautiful words, happy words, and I'm casting these spells with my mouth. So that is kind of an esoteric thing, to think that your words are spells. Everything that you say is a spell. Now this goes, of course, deeper. It's like what you're thinking of all day long. That's also a spell, because we think that thoughts, just because they're not physically out there and other people can hear them through their ears, you know, we can't experience something through the five senses, that it doesn't matter. But that's not true, because thoughts are things. Thoughts are physical things. They're metaphysical things, but they're conscious things. And the things that we think about, those are spells too. So what spells are you casting? So that's kind of how I manifest these days. I have brought myself to a place where my words are my magic tools, my thoughts are my magic tools. And when I find myself going down a negative path, I sit with that and I analyze it. I don't push it out of my head. I just think, well, why am I thinking this? Where is this coming from? I often find that when I do that, and when I go to the root of those thoughts, it's because fear has crept in. And when fear has crept in, I decide to love regardless. I decide to trust regardless of the fear. So for example, recently I had a little bit of I wasn't sure about somebody. I wasn't sure about their intentions. And I didn't know where this came from. I didn't know if this was intuition or what it was. But I decided to sit down with these negative thoughts I was having about this person. And I was like, well, where is this coming from? Have they shown me anything that should lead me to think this way about them? And I traced it back, and it all went down to insecurity and fear. And when I realized that, I'm like, wait, this person's actually awesome. They've done nothing to make me doubt them. It's not intuition, it's coming from fear. So I'm going to love this person. I'm going to trust this person, and I'm going to surrender. Because, you know, even if we're wrong, so what? So we get hurt. So life goes on. But usually when you're in a trusting, loving frequency, those kinds of people won't even end up in your life. Only good people who match and align with your frequency will end up in your life. Speaking of good people, I have some good people that I want to share with you guys. I want to talk to you guys about their weird esoteric rituals. I'm going to tell them, I'm going to put them on the spot. So let's see how my friends manifest. Let's go.
Here we are.
Drew Canole, master of the universe.
Okay.
Founder of Organifi.
With the cool tripod.
Fit Life TV with a cool tripod. I'm doing this video about weird esoteric manifestation techniques.
I thought we were doing it about something else.
No, that's what we're doing. We're doing manifestation techniques. And you're a master manifester. Even though you call me the manifestation queen, you are a master manifester. He just manifested a hat off the side of the road. It was absolutely magical. How do you manifest?
All right, so manifestation techniques
that
I've used in my life. Number one is the power of the word.
The power of the word?
Yeah, maybe you've talked about this, but in Hermetic ancient Egypt teachings, there's the fourth dimension, which is the mental realm. And they talk about it extensively. So whatever I say, whatever I can conjure up in my mind can be created in the 3D, right, or the third density. So I'm making sure that I'm writing down, especially in the beginning of this, 11 years ago when I first started my YouTube channel, I was putting sticky notes everywhere.
Ooh, that's a good one.
That I was forming in the universe. You know, money that I wanted to make. At first it was $1,000 a day, and then 10,000, and then 100,000, and then all these things. And you have to believe it, right? You have to be so convinced and convicted with passion and enthusiasm, because enthusiasm means to move with God, broken down in the word, the root words. So when I believe when we move with spirit, all things are possible. And to have that faith, I'm constantly nourishing my faith in the unseen. I know that the invisible realm is all around me, and I'm pulling information and I'm gathering and collecting at all times, which is super powerful.
That's perfect.
So some practical ways that I do this. Number one, in the morning, my morning ritual is I literally sit for 15, 20 minutes and I just go through all the good that's in my life. Because I believe manifestation is celebration. So the celebration frequency is the most powerful frequency that there is for manifestation. So how much joy, how much good, how much love, how much can I experience in a day? I'm not tracking time. Time doesn't exist in the world that I live in. It's the unfoldment of good that I'm watching ripple out into many different timelines. And I'm removing myself from the individualistic Drew Canole personality. And I'm witnessing my life through what the Toltecs would call the second attention. So I'm observing me, this meat suit, this incredibly intelligent figure that you see on your YouTube video. I'm actually, at the same time I'm shooting this, I'm observing myself, watching me tell you what I'm telling you right now. So I'm getting information, I'm getting energy from this source that's outside of me. And I'm sending this source, the selfless self, the oversoul, your God self, the God force, out into the world to communicate with people that I need to communicate with, to bring about experiences, situations, and circumstances from the unseen world, pulling it into the physical world that I see with this individual, these two eyes, right?
Yes.
I'm seeing with my first eye as much as possible in every moment.
I love it. It's
yeah,
looking great.
She's rocking it.
No, I'm loving this because I'm learning right now so much.
Yeah.
And I love the Hermetic principles.
So good.
And
Ancient Egypt.
Really, abracadabra.
Yeah.
With my words, I create.
Triangle like this.
Yes.
Yeah.
It means with my words I create. It's so important the way that you talk to yourself and the way that what you put out into the universe through this tool that is the sound, that is the word, right?
Yeah.
So I love that you said that.
Yeah, the sound. So attuning your sound body is a manifestation practice. So I love to chant. I love to sing. I play a multitude of different instruments, like into Leeor.
That's what I was talking about in mine.
You were?
Yeah. Earlier when I was shooting my weird manifestation ritual, I was like, you gotta play music.
Yeah.
So I set my intentions and then I go and play music.
Yeah.
Because it raises the frequency.
So, and you're an artist. And when you're an artist, you're in the fourth dimension or fourth density. So anytime you're creating from the present moment, you are in the fourth density. Instead of the 3D. The 3D is very slow. If you're trying to manifest from the doing realm, which is the third dimension, it's going to take you a long time. But when you step into the fourth density, as the artist of your life, as the creator of your own movie, as the writer of your own novel, that's when you have dominion. And your word is powerful. So when you speak from your heart, the longest journey we'll ever take is 17 inches, and it's from our sacred mind into our sacred heart. Right? So we're here, we're in our heart.
So beautiful.
And we can do exercises every single day to be more in our heart.
Yes.
One thing that I commune with every day is water. So this is a great method you guys can use too. It's called the 2-cup method. Maybe you've heard of it. Have you talked about this?
Yeah, I have a video about that.
Yeah, so watch Leeor's video on the 2-cup method again. One thing that I do is I stand by the ocean. And I put what I want to materialize in my life in the waves. And I become one with the waves, just a little drop in the ocean like we all are. And as I conjure up the things in my mind that I want to create, those waves are rolling in. And with each crashing of the wave, it's pulling it closer and closer to me. And as it's pulling it closer and closer to me, I feel that kundalini energy or that life force or the prana, whatever you want to call it, revitalize the cells in my body. And I'm living in the room of wishful thinking like Neville Goddard talks about, as it's already created. It's not something I'm trying to create.
Right.
It's already done.
It's already there.
So we're just jumping boxes.
Yeah.
Like Joe Dispenza talks about, right?
Jumping boxes.
We're just moving a box.
Yes.
So from one box to the other. So this was, and I'll be open with you guys, we were running traffic for one of my companies, Organifi, right? And when I mean running traffic, I mean boosting ads, running ads to get more people, to impact more human souls with high-powered nutrition. And one of our main traffic sources got cut off. So in a day, we were spending like an absurd amount of money every single day on this traffic.
On advertising?
Channel. And it was gone.
Okay.
Right? I knew I could go down into the human realm and be like, you know what? This sucks. Like, we're going to have to let people go. We're going to have to fire a bunch of people. Like, there's no way the business can sustain this running at this current rate. But instead, one of the practices I do collectively with the team, because when one or more gather, it's more powerful. Your manifestation ability. You should have a group of people that you're materializing things with.
Baby Elephant Facebook group.
There you go. So she's already dialed it in. I need to be part of that group.
Yes, we're 30,000 strong over there.
Yeah. So the Organifi team, we get together every morning and we're looking at the stat boards. And we knew that we had an option. There's 2 timelines opening up, rippling out from the present moment in which we were in. One could be, we're really upset about this because it sucks. You know, many businesses get shut down over something like that. We had 100 employees, right?
Yeah.
So instead, we thought, what an opportunity. This is such a blessing or as I like to call it, a lesson, but a blessing.
A blessing. I love that.
And
so good.
We knew that by changing the thought, the reality would shift. And sure enough, 4 days later, we were able to get that ad spend on a different traffic channel, maintaining the company, but also growing and learning valuable things in that moment because we chose to take the higher road. We moved our attention to a higher awareness.
Yes.
And sometimes the thing that you're trying to manifest, that thing that you're trying to bring about, it's not coming. Number one, because you're not able to receive it. You have samskara that's stuck in your body or energetic blocks that are preventing you from fully integrating it in the moment for the lessons that you're getting here in this incarnation. And when you remove that, when you let that go, and you are open to receiving, it'll come towards you as it's already created. Like everything you want is already created.
It's already there.
Yeah, how much joy can you handle, right? How much love can you handle? And I think that's the secret of manifestation, is believing that it's already done and living as if it already is.
Yes,
right?
being as if, right?
Being as if.
Yeah.
Being as if, not acting as if, being
right.
as if.
Right.
Because the Dolt's pyramid, the logical levels of transformation in NLP, identity and life purpose is at the top. So environment, circumstances, capabilities, that's all on the bottom. That's all 3D doing stuff.
Right.
When you shift into the purpose, you're in the blessing business. You're in the business of helping as many human souls as possible each and every day. You don't have to worry about your needs being met. Your cup will overflow. Things will just happen naturally. You'll live in what would be called turquoise and spiral dynamics. And that's a great place to be. That's where the world is headed, my friend. So I'm excited we're having this talk.
Dude, this is amazing. And Drew's been called to share a lot more of this stuff, right, on Fit Life TV.
Yes.
So you have to check out his channel. We'll put it down below. That was so
thank you.
good.
All right.
Thank you
Fit
so
Life
much,
TV. Check it out, you guys.
I love it. We're going to do a video on his channel
Leeor. Yes.
soon, in a minute.
We're doing it right now.
Got to set up over here. Okay, guys, I found another one of my friends, Victor Oddo. I know many of you already know Victor. He's an amazing YouTuber. Talks about things, all things spiritual, awakening, new moon, full moons, all the good stuff. Hi, Vic.
Hello.
So I'm doing this video right now, which is just sharing our weird manifestation rituals.
Yes.
Is there any weird thing that you do to manifest right now?
Yeah. In fact, I had to clear it with Leeor. I said, is this okay that I share this? Because it's what I honestly do. So for the longest time, I had many different rituals I would do, whether, I had vision boards, I would do a lot of visualization, positive affirmations. Now I'm at a point where I literally try to focus on allowance. And I find that when I sort of trust the flow of my life, then I always sort of intuitively will know the smartest moves to make.
100%.
And I'm almost hesitant to set concrete goals, because I found that sometimes I'll discover it's not what I actually want.
Right.
And like my spirit knows what's best, and it'll kind of give me my, my intuitive sort of nudges, like, for example, I recently released like a fitness course to my audience, and it was something I had built 2 years ago, and I just had this idea, like, you should do this now. And it did so well, and people were so happy, and it was because like it was so relevant. So it was like a big inflow of abundance that I didn't have to control. It was more like, hey Vic, to do this thing.
Yeah.
And I did it. It was very effortless, enjoyable, and it was like a win-win for me and other people. And I find that I'm spending less time trying to intend and more time trying to allow and just let the flow of spirit kind of go through me and guide me.
It's so crazy that you asked me if that's okay, because that's really how I'm feeling right now.
Yes.
And the direction that my channel is getting into, which is rather than being very clear about and specific about material things that we want, it's more like letting go and releasing control and kind of like going with the cosmic dance of the universe, right?
Yeah.
And letting things happen. And like the things that I desire are more like just happiness, aligning to happiness. And it all happens, right?
Yeah, and I'm finding that the more I do that, like focus on happiness, well-being for my friends and family, that kind of thing, it's like the things I used to think were required for those end results are very different. And they're much simpler.
Yes.
And less material. And ironically, in going through life in this way, I'm also getting more material abundance as well. So it really is a win-win, I think, having that heart-centered, pure intention.
Yeah, 100%. And I think that it also takes things off a pedestal, So those material things that may have seemed so hard to reach before, when you just kind of forget about those things and you're just like, I just want to flow, they are taken off the pedestal and they just are attracted to you. Like you just become a magnet for everything good. It's just a magnet for abundance in general. Right?
Yeah. And you know, honestly, I used to be almost afraid to live this way. Like I thought, like I kind of intuitively knew this was best the whole time, but it was like, I don't know, I can't trust that right now. It seems too woo-woo. I'm gonna have to just continue focusing and intending and working hard. But in doing that, you probably found I would burn myself out.
100%.
I would maybe neglect my relationships, neglect my health, and I could muscle my way towards goals. And like you can as well, you're a hard worker, but it was at the expense of many things that I'm realizing I don't want to give up that.
Yes.
And like the idea that you can have it all. You can kind of wake up and flow through the day and have more than you could even imagine.
And it seems easier.
It's easier.
Yeah.
It's true. That's literally how I've been living, and it's a much better way.
Oh, it's such a validation for me also, because it's like, especially being around people who are very like hustle, like ambition, attain things, attain. And in our society is all about, you know, bigger goals, have goals that scare you. And like, that's really cool. And it's fun to get in a place where you're stretching through your comfort zone. That's really cool. It's always good to keep growing, but just accepting and just allowing feels so right also. And I think that we're in a time in the planet right now where that kind of energy is magical.
Yes.
And it's turning us all into magnets.
Yeah.
So it's okay to not be so like about intend, like vision boards and creating all these things. It's okay to just let things flow to you.
Yeah, I feel like the energy right now on the planet is supporting that type of way, because I think when we do that, when we flow with spirit, it's like we are rewarded more than our minds can even intend for.
Yes.
And it's also in like perfect consideration of the whole.
Yes.
Your loved one, yourself, the environment, everything.
Perfect
it's like in harmony. Like there was enough abundance in creation. And when you just trust that, which that took me some time to learn to really trust, but now I do more so. And it's like, wow, it really does work kind of magically.
I love that so much. And it gives me like a permission, and I want everyone else to get that permission, because when you attain for that, just that overall feeling of abundance and flow and happiness, it's exactly, it takes care of everything. So nobody is slighted, and there's no scarcity that like goes here because you went over here. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So it's like everything's taken care of, and I love that.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Vic.
You're welcome. It's fun to be on here. Thank you so much.
So good having you guys. I'm gonna link Victor's and everybody's channel down below. Thank you for being on here.
You're welcome. Thank you, Leeor.
Let's find Aaron now.
Woo!
We found Aaron, Michael, Doughty. Aaron, Michael, Doughty. Aaron, Michael, Doughty. Woo!
Okay.
I've been getting people's weird, esoteric manifestation rituals. So just like the weird things you do to manifest that really work.
Okay, here's one that I do that sometimes people like to hear about because it's so different. So when I was attracting one of my last houses, even the house I'm in now.
Oh, I know what this is. I love this.
Yes. So basically what I did is there's this concept that has to do with something called outer intention. So we have inner intention, and our inner intention is what we want. But one thing that I realized is that if I were to tap into the energy of something else, that's one way of vibrationally resonating with it. Now, for example, there was a house that I wanted to get. I loved it. It was like the perfect house. A lot of my older videos were filmed in this house. It was a real open floor plan with the kitchen in the background.
It's a good house.
It was a good house. And I really wanted to live in it, but when I applied for it, just to rent for a year, there were 4 or 5 other people that had put in an offer to rent, and I realized that I had a little bit of competition. But what I realized is I was going to get in vibrational resonance with this house, so I used what is called outer intention. So what I did is I imagined that the house itself, like first off, what I realized is that the people that were renting out the house, they really liked the house and valued the house, because one of the things they asked me for is they wanted photos of the current house I lived in and how I lived, which is kind of weird for landowner or like owners to ask for people's like pictures of their house. So I realized they really value how the clean I was, and I'm a very clean person. So I took pictures of the house I was in, how clean it was. So I realized that was one of their values. value. So what I did is I actually wrote them a letter to the people that own the house. I said, listen, you guys have an amazing house. I would love to live there. I work from home, so I would love to be in that house. I don't have any pets. I don't have any kids, because I knew that they wanted the house to be well taken care of. So I tapped into their intention. It was called outer intention to me, but inner intention to them. And I framed it as, I will take great care of your house. I work from home. I don't throw crazy parties or anything. You have nothing to worry about. I would love to take great care of your home and live there for a year while I'm traveling and doing other stuff.
So you made it about them and their intention rather than your intention.
Rather than
and
mine.
Can't that be done for like an inanimate object also?
That's exactly what I did. So what I did is I was laying in my bed at the other house before I went to that house. And I imagined, before I got the yes that I got the house, I imagined that the house itself wanted me to live there. I imagined that the trees that were there, because I was like, man, I love trees. They had grass in the backyard. I'm going to ground myself in grass. I'm going to imagine that the trees wanted me to live there because I would appreciate them, and the house wanted me to live there because I'd be doing humanitarian type work.
I love it.
Making videos. So I put out that intention, and I felt as if the house wanted me to live there, and I almost had a dialogue with it. And what I did is I went to bed, and within 2 or 3 days, as I was visualizing that, eventually I got the call. They're like, you got the house. There were like 5 other people, and at the time as well, I had some things that I thought would work against me. Like I was repairing my credit from something that happened back in 2012. So now I have now everything's fine with that. But at the time, I thought that was going to hold me back, but I didn't let that affect me at all. I realized that everything was going to be good, and I gave it like almost a personality in itself, and then that changed everything. So and
that can be done with any inanimate
even people,
object.
like even just tapping into outer intent. I used to have a sales commission job. I wouldn't focus on what do I want to get. I want to sell a certain amount for the day. I want to make my commission. I'd focus on what can I give them what they want? How can I add value to them? And then me tapping into their inner intention, which is outer intention into me, is a win-win, because then they're happy. And then also it's a win-win because then they want to buy something or something like that. So I find that energy has been very powerful. That is called outer intention. It's super powerful. It's kind of weird to give something a personality like that, but I find that it works.
Yeah, and I think you could do that really with any object, with any experience you want. You can just give it like that intention. Even if you want to go travel, like, I feel like you can do that, right?
Yeah.
Like, give that
somewhere,
place that
wants you to come there.
They want you to come.
I feel like Machu Picchu is literally calling me, wants me to come there, wants me to bring my energy.
Yeah.
And with that mentality, it then puts it outside of myself, and I feel like it adds that magnetic type vibe.
Agreed. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
You always give the best weird advice.
I got weird stuff.
Thank you, Aaron Doughty.
You're welcome.
Go check out the video that we did on his channel.
Right below.
Below, if you don't already know him.
What was it on again? Oh yeah.
Subscribers. You know what he did to manifest all you subscribers?
I tapped into your outer intention. Your inner intention, my outer intention.
That's what he
How
did.
can I add value to you?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
All right. Bye.
Bye.